Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different from the usual content that I've been posting lately of true crime. Today's video is going to be about some creepy EAS alerts that I found online. So without further ado, let's get into it. Here in the United States, we have a very specific set of tones for our emergency alert system. I'll play them right now. Usually, these tones are used for severe weather warnings, civil emergency messages, or local area emergencies, and we test them on a weekly, monthly, and national basis. The national basis occurs at least once every 3 years. Sometimes, however, these alerts can be kind of creepy. Whether it be the voice having a weird or monotone and borderline lifeless tone, a scary weather event starts in the middle of the message, or even the alert being normal but the event has an obscure thing about it, the EAS system in the US can be unsettling to many people. This video will cover a small handful of times the emergency alert system got creepy in the US. Just to warn you, the following tones and messages may be disturbing or unsettling to some viewers, so viewer discretion is advised.
Washington County in southeast Wisconsin. Southeast Wisconsin. Northern Milwaukee County in southeast Wisconsin. And Milwaukee County in southeast Wisconsin. Until 10:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 10:03 p.m. Central Daylight Time, National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. The most dangerous portion of the storm was located 3 miles southwest of Jackson, moving east-southeast at 60 miles an hour. The tornado is expected to be near Germantown at 10:05 p.m.
In this example, we see a tornado warning issued for the Milwaukee area in southeast Wisconsin. The counties appear to be Washington, Milwaukee, Ozaukee, and possibly Waukesha. The creepy part about this seemingly normal tornado warning is the fact that the warning appeared on the screen halfway through listing the counties and then cut out before it could list any more locations besides Germantown, Wisconsin. If you lived in the Milwaukee area during this storm and were barely able to catch the warning, it may have been difficult to get to safety during the storm not knowing what was going on. After digging up a little more about this storm, I learned it was the earliest known tornado to hit Milwaukee when it touched the ground on March 8, 2000. It was classified as an F1 tornado with winds around 110 miles an hour, a path of about 2.2 miles on the ground, and a total width of about 68.58 meters, or 225 feet. About 16 people were injured as a result of the tornado, and luckily nobody was killed by the severe storm.
This is a test of the NOAA Weather Radio's warning device. During potentially dangerous weather situations, specially built receivers are automatically activated to warn of the impending hazard. Tests of these receivers normally are conducted by the National Weather Service every Wednesday, between 11 a.m. and noon. When there is the threat of, or existing severe weather in the area on Wednesday, the test is postponed until the first available good weather day. Reception of this broadcast and the warning alarm will vary at any given location. This variability, normally more noticeable at greater distances from the transmitter, will occur even though you are using a good quality receiver in perfect working order. To provide the most consistent warning service possible, the warning alarm will be activated only for warnings and selected watches affecting this area. In addition to the regular alarm tone, the NOAA Weather Radio system is equipped with an additional warning service called SAME, which is short for Specific Area Message Encoder. Unlike the normal tone of 1050 Hz, which activates all alarmable NOAA Weather radios monitoring this station, SAME allows people with a special receiver to be notified of watches and/or warnings, affecting only the county desired. SAME radios are especially useful for schools, hospitals, businesses, government agencies, and commercial radio and television stations.
This test of the emergency alert system is creepy because of the monotone voice used and the low buzz, almost growling, playing from the beginning of the alert. I know this is the exact same voice played in the previous alert, but it's the monotone way it's programmed to talk this time that makes it so creepy. This clip is a test of the NOAA weather radio, which is normal, but this test is odd because of the detail the voice goes into to describe the test. Usually these voices in the tests just state that it's a test, but this test goes very deep in detail about the methods used for testing, devices used to conduct tests, and where the tests are better received. I've never seen or heard a test like this before, and it's unsettling with the monotone voice. The voice used in this clip and the previous one are old National Weather Service computer-generated voices. This one in particular is named Old Paul and was used primarily before 2003. These computer-generated voices are used to tell you what has happened or is happening and how you can protect yourself. Cherry on top for the creepiness of this alert is the fact it cuts off mid-sentence again.
27 times Saturday, February 27th, and could continue for several hours. Evacuate coastlines when instructed. Tsunami waves will affect all islands in the state. Check the tsunami evacuation map in the front section of your telephone book. If you are in a coastal evacuation zone, evacuate when advised. If you are not in the evacuation zone, stay where you are. Do not use telephones or cell phones except for emergencies.
This clip was the first time I'd ever seen a tsunami warning from a place in the US. Before watching this tsunami warning, I'd only seen clips from the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami disaster that happened in Japan from Japanese EAS alerts. This clip is from 2010, so not quite the Tohoku disaster, and the tsunami was triggered from an 8.8 magnitude earthquake that hit Chile early in the day on February 27, 2010. Tsunami waves were expected to hit Hawaii at 11 a.m. Hawaiian Standard Time, and when they eventually did, they didn't cause any significant damage. This is the only video of this tsunami warning I've been able to find online. Volume is low, video quality is that of potato, and it just seems like one of those off EAS alerts that you catch when you're caught off guard, especially if you're not used to tsunamis or tsunami warnings. Former US President Barack Obama actually made a statement to people living in Hawaii at the time of the tsunami warning and told citizens and visitors of Hawaii to, quote, "The most important thing you could do is heed the instructions of state and local officials," end quote.
Run on the money.
We have just received this important information regarding an abducted child in Federal Way, Washington, King County. Valley Communications Center is looking for a child who was last seen at 2626 Southwest 327 St. Federal Way, Washington, and is believed to be in danger. The child's name is Carly Gaston. She is 8 years old, white female with brown hair and brown eyes. She is believed to be 3 feet and 6 inches, weighing 65 pounds. She was last seen wearing school uniform, blue turtleneck, blue pants, white heely roller shoes, curly ponytail. Authorities say that the child may be in the company of a man named Ben. He is a 24-year-old Pacific Islander male with black hair. He is believed to be 5 feet and 9 inches, weighing 140 pounds. He was last seen wearing black t-shirt, black and green army pants. They may be traveling in a silver-colored vehicle, of an unknown type. If you have any information on the whereabouts of this child, please contact 253-372-1300 immediately.
This clip has another creepy voice, though it's not as bad as that clip of Old Paul from earlier. In this example, a child, KG, was reported missing by her parents in Federal Way, Washington, just outside of Seattle. KG was abducted by a 24-year-old man named Ben, who was described as a Pacific Islander male in a black shirt with green army pants. Reports at the time suggest that Ben was taking photos of children at a local park in the area, same park where KG was last seen at the time of her Amber Alert being issued. Shortly after the Amber Alert was issued, it was canceled because KG was found safe. When questioned by authorities and her parents, KG claimed she wasn't abducted at all and that she was still at the park, or that she had came home by herself. This wasn't true, however. The reason the Amber Alert was issued was because kids and parents at the park where the child was believed to have been abducted told police they saw a girl talking to a man that fit Ben's description, and the two disappeared a short while later. This caused the Amber Alert to be issued. A department store clerk later told police they saw a young girl that looked just like KG with a man that fit Ben's description talking in the clothing section, trying things on. Police used CCTV footage and receipts to put the timeline together. Police then arrested Ben, who was a 28-year-old man. Police came to the conclusion that this was a, quote, classic case of grooming.
National Weather Service has issued a tsunami warning for the coastal areas of northern and central California, including the following counties: Sonoma, Marin, Napa, San Francisco, San Mateo, Contra Costa, Alameda, and Santa Clara. This is a result of an 8.9 earthquake near Honshu, Japan, that struck at 2:46 local time in the afternoon in Japan. If a tsunami wave is generated, it is expected to arrive in San Francisco at the mouth of San Francisco Bay at 8:08 a.m. this morning. The tsunami warning means a tsunami is imminent and that coastal locations in the warned area should prepare for flooding. The National Weather Service is updating conditions hourly or as conditions warrant. This concludes the activation of the emergency alert system.
Alert System, we interrupt this program to bring you an important message from State Civil Defense. A tsunami warning is in effect for all Hawaiian Islands. At 7:46 p.m. Hawaii time, an earthquake measuring 8.8 magnitude occurred near Honshu, Japan. A series of tsunami waves could cause damage to all coastal areas on all islands. Tsunami waves will begin arriving in Hawaii at 2:59 a.m. and could continue for several hours. Evacuate coastlines immediately. For increased safety, move a half-mile inland. Check the tsunami evacuation map in the front section of your telephone book. If you are in a coastal evacuation zone, evacuate immediately. If you are not in an evacuation zone, stay where you are. Do not use telephones or cell phones except for emergencies. Boaters may depart harbors for waters 600 fathoms or deeper prior to tsunami wave arrival time, but anticipate vehicle and harbor traffic delays. Avoid harbors, marinas, rivers, and canals during wave activity. Again, a tsunami warning is in effect for all Hawaiian Islands. Tsunami waves will begin arriving in Hawaii at 2:59 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Check the tsunami evacuation map in the front section of your telephone book. If you are not in an evacuation zone, stay where you are. Do not use telephones or cell phones except for emergencies. Boaters may depart harbors for waters 600 fathoms or deeper if they can do so safely before the tsunami wave arrival time. Stay tuned to a local broadcast station for further information and instructions. This is a state emergency alert system. We return you now to local stations.
I did mention this when I was talking about the tsunami warning from the Chilean earthquake a few minutes ago. On March 11th, 2011, a magnitude 9.1 earthquake rocked the east coast of Japan just off the shore of the Tohoku region, triggering a massive tsunami to go with it. This earthquake is the largest in Japan's history and currently ranks 4th largest on record behind a pair of 9.2 magnitude earthquakes and a 9.5 magnitude earthquake. The Tohoku megaquake disaster was the costliest natural disaster in recorded history, pushing $300 billion in damage. As I showed you, I have a pair of examples from the U.S. states of Hawaii and California that played relatively early in the morning, around 2:30 a.m. Hawaiian Standard Time and around 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, respectively. Both alerts informed the public in the U.S. about the earthquake that caused the disaster, saying it was about 8.8 and 8.9 on the two alerts, but it was later confirmed to have been around 9.0 to 9.1 on the Richter scale. These alerts are creepy in my opinion because of how early in the morning they were, which would have been scary to hear going to bed, waking up, or even leaving for work, and just how much destruction it caused across the pond.
The National Weather Service in Norman has issued a tornado warning for northwestern McLean County in central Oklahoma, southern Oklahoma County in central Oklahoma, northern Cleveland County in central Oklahoma, until 3:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 2:59 p.m. Central Daylight Time, National Weather Service meteorologists and storm spotters were tracking a large and extremely dangerous tornado near Newcastle. Doppler radar showed this tornado moving northeast at 20 miles an hour. This is a tornado emergency for more in South Oklahoma City. In addition to a tornado, large destructive hail up to tennis ball size is expected with this storm. Locations impacted include Midwest City, Moore, Newcastle, Stanley Draper Lake, Tinker Air Force Base, and Valley Brook. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. If you cannot get underground, go to a storm shelter or an interior room of a sturdy building now. Take cover now in a storm shelter or an interior room of a sturdy building. Stay away from doors and windows.
On May 20th, 2013, a significant weather event was building in the Oklahoma City metro area, where the Storm Prediction Center was predicting a relatively strong chance for severe weather in the Oklahoma City metro area and surrounding communities. A supercell thunderstorm began around Norman and Newcastle and gained strength as it moved north towards Moore and Oklahoma City. The tornado then touched the ground and quickly widened to over a mile wide, tearing apart everything in its path. The violent tornado tracked across 17 miles and strengthened to the highest possible tornado strength on the enhanced Fujita scale, EF5. The tornado ripped straight through Moore, leaving much of the city in shambles. The tornado reportedly had wind speeds of up to 210 miles per hour, which cost around $2 billion US dollars in damages, injuring approximately 377 people and killing 46. The 2013 Moore EF5 disaster is also the last known EF5 tornado to date. Knowing how much damage and loss of life this storm generated, I think the alert is fairly creepy.
This is a required weekly test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Child who was last seen at 11:20 a.m.
This Amber Alert actually begins as a test for the emergency alert system, but gets interrupted with a low buzzing and more tones. Then a disturbingly monotone voice comes on the screen to inform the area about the abduction of a child. This is with Washington and children being abducted. The child, with a name I couldn't even put together from the video, was abducted while taking out the trash at 11:20 a.m. on January 4th, 2021. The child, who I'll call AV, had previously been, quote, coerced via social media to go with who they originally thought was the kidnapper, D.O., according to the Washington State Patrol. D.O. had abducted AV the previous September and brought her down to Arizona, where he lived, and held her for a month before she was found and taken back to Washington in November 2020. The Amber Alert in this case was canceled after the child was found in the vehicle of E.L. in Nevada around 10 p.m. on January 4th, 2021. The child was transported back to Washington after being found. D.O. was believed to have been involved in the abduction and fled to Mexico. E.L., on the other hand, faces charges of first-degree kidnapping and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. E.L. was being held at the Elko County Jail in Elko County, Nevada, on a $250,000 bond. There's no further information on if E.L. was convicted or if D.O. was even found.
The civil authority has issued local area emergency for the following counties or areas. El Paso, Texas, at 11:56 a.m. on August 3rd, 2019, effective until 12:56 p.m. Active shooter in Cielo Vista area. All El Paso City/County residents are asked to shelter in place. Stay away from the area and remain indoors. More information will be provided as it becomes available.
On August 3rd, 2019, Patrick Wood Cruces entered a Walmart shopping center in El Paso, Texas, and opened fire. He ended up killing 23 shoppers and injuring another 22, leading to one of the deadliest mass shooting events in U.S. history. In the local area emergency that was broadcast for the El Paso area, we hear a voice, which is weirdly enough the same one from Roku devices, telling the area about the active shooter emergency going on, issuing a shelter in place for the immediate surrounding area, and for anyone outside of the area to avoid the area entirely. According to the Department of Justice's Office of Public Affairs, Cruces was sentenced to 90 consecutive life sentences on 45 counts of violating the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Jr. Hate Crimes Prevention Act, and 45 counts of using a firearm during and in relation to crimes of violence. He will die in prison either by being murdered or by being too old. Hearing the activation of an active shooter alert in a local area emergency alert makes this alert crazier and creepier. Even more so knowing how many people died and how many were injured as a result of this awful crime. Alright everybody, thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you like the video and the content you just watched, make sure you leave a like down below. If you want to see more of this content regarding like EAS alerts and things like that, feel free to let me know in the comments section. I will definitely make more if that's what you guys want. I have a couple other videos on tap, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was really fun to make, honestly, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.